Hello and welcome to my next video. And this is a pretty fun one. This is especially if you have an e-commerce store. This is about the art of maximizing your store, knowing when to actually bring on an agency for your email marketing. So let's just get into it. So if you're running an e-commerce store, you most likely have worked with an agency before. Maybe it's for your paid ads, maybe for SEO. A lot of the time I find emails not really something that people have worked with an agency for a lot of the time. Like they'll still be doing it kind of in-house. Um, so yeah, maybe you've never worked with an email agency specifically before, or maybe you have, and maybe you've had some experiences with them. Now, before we get into when to actually go ahead and work with an agency, based on my opinion and my experience, running Johnston Media, obviously. We're going to get into why actually you should bring on an agency at all. Okay, and maybe why you shouldn't just continue to do it in-house. So pretty much the idea of an email agency is that they're going to be working tirelessly and single-mindedly on getting the most revenue from your email marketing. Okay, so this is pretty much the main kind of reason, essentially, is obviously people in-house, they can be working on it, but usually they'll work on other stuff as well. Maybe they, have a bit of time left over in their hours, so they're focusing on something else. And yeah, usually it's just one person. Okay, and one person is not going to be as efficient as, say, three people who have, certain roles, certain tasks, and they focus just on that task and they're experts at it. So pretty much an agency's only focus is going to be on these, these kind of important variables. Okay, so it's going to be deliverability, first of all. So an agency is pretty much going to come in and ensure that your domain is, healthy, has a good reputation. They're going to use certain tools like Spamhaus, Google Postmaster tools, etc., to pretty much just verify your domain and that your emails won't be going to spam, checking how often they are going to spam, even. And pretty much this tells us how often, as an agency, we can come in and email your current list as well as new subscribers that you're getting. Whether extra precautions need to be taken in terms of adding maybe a double opt-in, for example, or maybe you're getting loads of spam leads. Okay. Or maybe you're having, you've had poor deliverability and you're running into an issue with getting lots of spam leads. Something like a double opt-in would be super helpful. Adding a notice to new leads to add your domain as a safe sender, for example. Again, if you have a poor deliverability, making it clear on emails that people should unsubscribe, instead of flagging as spam, or just letting them know upfront what they're going to be hearing from you and to unsubscribe if they don't want to hear those things. And of course, getting healthy KPIs per email is very important to keep deliverability high. So obviously that's another focus of ours, is ensuring that we're getting very good metrics and, open rates and click rates that are healthy and are not harming your domain. Like if you're sending to your whole list in one go every time, probably you're not getting very good KPIs in terms of open click rates, unsubscribe rates, spam rates, etc. So the second role of an agency is they're going to implement segmentation into your list. So any email marketing agency worth their salt will know how to segment your list. And this pretty much just makes sure that the right email goes to the right person and ultimately make more sales, right? Which is all we want from your store. So here's the ones that we always make at Johnston Media. Let me just go ahead and move this a little bit. So, X day engaged, for example, this will be kind of usually the main segment that we'll be sending to. VIPs, of course. So people who have spent X amount in Y days. Past purchases, purchase specific product. So viewed product but never bought, added to cart but never bought, started checkout but never bought, genders, geography, and then also an unsubscribed, an unengaged, should I say. So, all of these are very important segments and not necessarily will all be emailed very regularly, but nonetheless, this is how, your segments should be set up. And to be honest, depending on your product that you're selling, there may even be more segments than this. But usually this covers a large amount. There may just be different variations of these segments. An agency is also going to handle the creation and the scheduling of campaigns to different segments of your list. And this will obviously drive revenue as well as drive traffic to the flows. Okay, so the automated emails as well. So both the flows and the campaigns will gather sales, and both are typically used together, or should I say both need to be used together. Otherwise, you're not going to be getting the 30% metric of revenue from email that you should be getting. So some campaigns that we would send, for example, are, say, holiday emails, seasonal emails, usually at least 1 or 2 a month of this type of email. VIP discounts, so obviously your VIP segment, new products that have just come out on the store, maybe highlights of certain blogs that provide value to your audience, maybe a new collection that's just come out, or bestsellers. If you have lots of products, having a bestsellers campaign really helps to take away the huge amount of choice and just provide them with the bestsellers. Okay, influencer collabs. So if your store is working with influencers, for example, letting your email list know about it and maybe sending them to your Instagram page, or even just to provide the social proof and then just to link back to your store. Either way, obviously this provides lots of social proof and makes the brand look a lot more connected and just professional and legit as well. UGC as well, so user generated content. Obviously, if you have lots of people who have images of your products, maybe it's a clothing brand and you have lots of customers that have sent in images and whatnot, this is all great to send to your email list. Okay, just for more social proof. Messages from the founder, so a little bit of a personal touch every so often from the actual owner of the business, so people know who it is. Just general company updates and values, etc. So lots of ideas there for campaigns, and this is what an agency will come in to do, is to send out campaigns to your list. Flows as well. Obviously, flows are super important, and an agency will help an e-commerce brand to automate and schedule their emails to be sent at the right times. I shouldn't really say schedule there, but automate their emails to be sent at the right time to the right people, so that their customers are more likely to buy from them. So these flows, as you can see here, these are the type of flows that we build out pre-purchase and post-purchase, and obviously split testing along as we go, trying to get the best metrics. So take a look at those and go ahead and try and implement these as well. But yeah, an agency will be handling all of this for your store, for the email side of things. And reporting, arguably one of the most important sections of what an email agency will do, is they'll keep you in the loop with monthly reporting to show things like key metrics, what's being done to improve them. Of course, these are kind of, pretty much the structure of a good reporting is obviously highlighting how it's gone and how it's going to get better from here. So obviously an agency will help an e-com brand to track and analyze the performance of their email campaigns, so that they can obviously make more data-driven decisions about how to improve. And these types of things in the report, and that we send to our clients, will include things like important KPIs versus industry standards. This is super important. So you can see how you compare to competitors and just the general industry. Domain health, how that's going. Deliverability, subscriber size, revenue from email, percentage of revenue from email, last month's revenue from email versus this month's, a summary of all emails made, etc. So these types of things are all important things that need to be continually reported and discussed on a call in a little bit more detail. So yeah, all of these things an agency is going to handle and also optimize, not necessarily just handle, but really push the boundaries of each segment that I've kind of gone into here. So obviously deliverability, segmentation, campaigns and flows, and reporting as well. So these are kind of our 5 main focuses that we're going to be focusing on. So yeah, Obviously, that sounds great, but the reality is that working with an agency, it's not for every store. It really depends on the amount of revenue that the store brings in per month and how much of that comes from email currently. So typically a rule that we go off is if your store is generating less than 30K a month in dollars, that is, I would hold off on working with an agency. Okay. The, you know, the reason being is that a truly great agency will charge anywhere between 2.5K to 10K a month. And obviously, even if we were to come in to a store making 30K a month, we reach that golden metric of 30% revenue from email. The most they would be pulling in is 10K a month, which is not even enough to cover the fees. Or very, very slim margins at least. It's, to be honest, frankly, it's just not really worth it. Whereas, if say a store generates 300K a month in revenue, and then that 30% from email becomes a lot larger, and then obviously, charging 2 to 10K a month for a retainer makes much more sense. And obviously, the goal of an e-com store is not to just spend as much as possible. Obviously, it needs to make sense, of course. So if your store is generating less than 30K a month, I would just focus on email yourself. Focus on those flows, sending out campaigns and building pop-ups. But of course, if your store is at a higher level than that, maybe it's time for you to start thinking about when to work with an agency. So that kind of brings me to the last part of the video, pretty much, which is when should your store begin to work with an agency? And pretty much there's kind of three main reasons why. When you want to scale your email marketing. So as your store grows, the volume of emails will just increase. You'll be getting more subscribers, more sales will be happening, more flows will need to be sent. It'll just become more difficult to handle this in-house, and that's where an agency will come in. Also, another reason is when you want to track and analyze your emails better. So it's not bad to admit that you don't actually know how your email marketing is going. A lot of e-com store owners, frankly, don't really know. An agency will obviously handle all of this, and they'll provide a roadmap for the coming months, so you can see what's to come and how we're going to get there as well. And also, just frankly, when you're too busy working in the business instead of on the business, sometimes the owners of large stores still do lots of tasks themselves that could be outsourced to improve efficiency. So maybe your store is doing more than 30K a month, but you just keep doing the emails yourself. Frankly, it's probably a better use of your time to be hiring an agency to handle that, so you can focus on driving the business forward with new products, new collections, influencers, organizing media, PR, like all this type of thing, while letting us handle the email side. So hopefully that makes sense. And obviously, of course, if you are running an e-commerce store and obviously you're making more than that 30K a month, frankly, it's better to save yourself the headache of learning to be an email expert and just apply to work with an agency. So I have a link in my description so you can apply to work with Johnston Media, and we can obviously take this off your hands and see if we're a fit. But yeah, that is this video. Pretty much sums it up really. So hopefully that was helpful, and look forward to seeing you in the next video.